This is Richard Wolff from Democracy at Work, responding to another Ask Prof. Wolff question from our Patreon community. This question comes from Ilya, and Ilya asks about housing and landlords. And to put it bluntly, he asks, couldn't we do better without landlords, without someone in between the family that needs a home and the home that we need? Can't we put the needs for housing together with the people who have these needs without the in between making money off of the connection? Another way to put this is, why isn't housing recognized as a human right? There are actually organizations all over the world fighting for exactly that: the right to water, the right to land, the right to food, clothing, and the right to shelter and housing. And if a society works well, it solves the problems of food, clothing, and shelter. It either, in a society like ours, it either gives people a high enough wage and salary income to afford proper housing, or it lowers the price of proper housing so that people's wages will enable them to afford it. We all know that. It's kind of common sense. So, what is it that explains situations where millions of people don't have enough to afford the housing? They don't earn enough, and or the housing is too pricey. Well, housing is a private business in this country. Private companies build most of the houses we live in, and private companies are the landlords of most of the houses we live in, if they're apartment or multi-unit housing, which is for the majority the way we live. Okay, then an adequate system gives us the income and or the prices so we get a fit for people have housing. Well, we don't do that in this country, or to be honest, we fail as a capitalist economic system. We don't get the job done. How do we know? Because we have hundreds of thousands of homeless people. October, this month, is actually the National Block Evictions Month in this country, because people are being thrown out of their homes at record rates right now because it was delayed during the pandemic. It's exploding now because they don't have enough money to pay the cost of the rental unit or whatever it is that they have. Could it be otherwise? The answer is, of course it could. Let me give you examples. One of the most famous is Vienna, Austria. In Vienna, Austria, the capital of that country, half of the housing in that huge city is what's called social housing. It's owned by the city of Vienna. Everybody in it is a renter. People are allowed to run their own apartment houses. I've been there. They're beautifully maintained, they're beautifully preserved. The rents are kept below 25% of anybody's income. They adjust as your income does. They've been doing that for decades. Even when Austria was under the most conservative government imaginable, nobody touched the social housing program of Vienna because the mass of people would have voted them out of office in 10 minutes. Can it be done? Of course it can be done. One of the ways is to eliminate the middleman, the landlord. Have the people's government build and run the housing, have the people in a cooperative way run the housing, paying for it a modest rent. And why would it be modest? Because it wouldn't have to include anybody's profit, because you would have taken the profit, the capitalism, out of it. Is that an option? Yes. All over the world, that is being used. The examples we have that we could use to fashion a good one in this country are everywhere, not just in Vienna, Austria. So, yeah, we ought to be able to arrange housing that was run by the people in it who would make sure that it is handled properly, especially if the communities were diverse, had different skills, different attitudes, could divide up the work. A system could be developed to do that. Look, We have a public education system that educates our people. We don't allow capitalists to come in there and destroy it and make it a profit-making business. And when they do, it's another world. It's private schools, and they have their sets of problems. But we want for the mass of people a public education that creates an educated public. We could do the same for housing, and it would be a big step forward if we did. If interventions like this open up the space for discussion and for changes that this country badly needs, then we ask you to partner with us. Share these videos. Get the conversation going by widening what can be said. And please, if you can, support what we at Democracy at Work are trying to do. For example, we're trying to get over that 300,000 mark of the subscribers at our YouTube channel. It's an important milestone, not only for us, but for the whole world that's watching what these kinds of efforts are about. Help us get over. We're close. Help us get over if you can. And of course, as always, if you can help with financial support, these things cost money. We would appreciate that as well. Thank you.